well, quite a bit stronger, especially with these higher tech units. For example, like the carriers. Well, unfortunately for the Protoss, he doesn't really have that many high-tech units. He doesn't have he has a lot of zealots, and he doesn't even have the upgrade for the zealots, so they're kind of useless now, especially against the hydras and roaches. But like I said before, right now, if we look at the unit tab, HowtheHare only has 2 corruptors and 2 more being made. Johnny 5 has 3 carriers. Now, if he scouted this before, like I said, he could have gotten a much higher corruptor count and been able to deal with this army much more easily. As you can see, he wiped out the ground army with no problem, but the problem is he couldn't kill these carriers. Right now he's pushing out with these roaches. Good, I like that. I mean, those roaches are useless in defense. They just gonna get killed, so he's gonna, and he knows that he killed his opponent's ground army, so he pushes out with his roaches. Good decision making there, but like I said, the lack of scouting meant that he had a much too low corruptor count than what was needed, and if he had more corruptors, he would have dealt with these carriers so much more easily and just steamrolled his opponent right then and there. But he didn't, and these carriers actually are getting quite a lot of kills. 14, 7, and 7, and now this gold expansion will be taken out. Still no range upgrades, still no upgrades for anything else. A big mistake. Like I said, this Protoss player really isn't the best. He was getting his expansion much late, well, much too late. He's gonna be mined out soon enough, and his macro is quite bad as well. But still, there are lots of improvements that can be made on HowtheHare's side. Also, he could be spreading these creep tumors at a much faster rate. He had enough queens for that. His queens are at full energy pretty much. And now these carriers, like I said before, are doing a huge economic damage. 22, 21, 22 kills respectively. They're just wreaking havoc. Now, luckily, I'm gonna pause the game again. Some good decision making before by taking this expansion means that it is hidden, so his opponent thinks, well, the Zerg player only has this base is dead, now he only has this left. Oh, I might actually take this game pretty easily. However, if he actually scouted like he was supposed to, he would have seen that there's this expansion, and I think this expansion will prove to be very important for HowtheHare in staying alive at this point in the game and really pushing back these carriers and maybe even winning the game. These roaches are not really doing anything, they're just there. More corruptors are being made, but like I said, a bit too late. Now these carriers are just free to do a lot of damage. However, the carrier control isn't the best. Well, it's not just the carrier control, really the focus of the Protoss player. There's no reason why he would be taking this the spawning pool out first. He really needs to be focusing on the drones so he can do even more economic damage to his opponent, but no, these drones just are allowed to leave, so really bad decision making by the Protoss player there. He could easily take the game. Well, he could have. Now there are actually a couple of corruptors, a mutalisk and a hydralisk, and I think this will be enough to deal with these carriers, especially with the corruption ability. These drones were transferred all the way down there. Really don't see the reason for that either. He really should have transferred them here, since this expansion is much closer. And if this was attacked, then maybe he could have taken them down to this left expansion. Taken down another expansion, don't really see a point. I mean, his money is kind of low, so he doesn't exactly have the minerals to spare for an extra expansion, especially since these expansions aren't running fully. I mean, yeah, this one's mined out, but this one has been barely mined at all. In fact, has been mined less than this one. So really, he needs to focus on really rebuilding his economy properly, and then rebuilding his army so he can get an even bigger advantage over his opponent. Now his opponent is completely mined out, and no expansion means no income, so really big mistake by the Protoss player there. And this, as you can see, this expansion is much too oversaturated, so he really needs to transfer about half those drones to here. This expansion now is up, and we're going to speed the game up because nothing's going on really. Still no expansion by the Protoss player, only going down now. He has 3 carriers, he's pushing out again. Although he has no money. Now his HowtheHare's macros slipping a bit. Also, when your minerals are getting this high, then okay, start getting those expansions, but like I said, when he got that expansion, his minerals were much too low. Also, you might want to put down maybe some evolution chambers and start getting upgrades. Also, the reason why his gas is a bit low is because he too is lacking a bit of focus, and he really should have taken this gas geyser and this one because he's low on gas, and really there's only one drone there in gas. Like I said, you really need to focus on these kinds of things when you're playing. Yeah, it's hard. It's what makes the great players great, and us not so great players not so great, is really the lack of focus and the ability, well, the lack of ability to remember these things. I'm gonna unpause the game here. Taking down this expansion, well, it's gonna get taken out, but really there's no way that the Protoss player can come out on top now. I mean, this expansion only getting used now, but if we look at the army sizes, 100 to 63, and with this many hatcheries, HowtheHare can get a large army really fast, really soon. He's getting more hydralisks. He really should be getting more corruptors, and like I said before, he should be scouting some more, especially when his opponent is under such pressure. He knows he has the upper hand. He knows he has complete map control. He knows he's dominant in economy, in army size, in everything. So there's no reason why not to scout, so you can make sure so you can make sure you know what you're supposed to do to stay ahead. Also, he really should be focus firing these carriers, and like I said, he should have scouted, and with the scouting information he would have got, he would have seen that yes, he still needs more corruptors. Yes, Hydras are decent as well. They're very good against gateway units, against Archons, etc., but these carriers are very mobile against these Hydralisks. They're a bit too mobile, and these Hydras can't really keep up with the carriers unless on creep now. But like I said, scouting very important. and he could have won the game right there and there. Well, I think he will. He's going for a push. He knows his opponent doesn't have anything, so gonna speed up the game. A big battle going on here. Pew pew pew. Hydra's killing these carriers, but again, another mistake he does is lack of focus is these rally points. If he knows he's going to attack and he knows he's building more units, might as well just rally those units straight here, and they would have gotten here straight away, making that win much faster. And then we have another push, and the GG will come soon. But really, that's not what's important. I mean, sure, he won, but what is important is on trying to correct the mistakes he did. Like I said, a couple of big mistakes scouting. He really didn't do enough of that game. And really, that's the big crucial mistake he did. He didn't scout, therefore he was unprepared for that first Protoss push. Everything else, then the mistakes he did were, I don't know, kind of caused by him being distracted by those carriers, him trying to stay alive, etc., etc. Some very good decision making as well, taking out that hidden expansion on the left side. All in all, it was alright, but there's a lot of room for improvement, especially with the lack of focus. Really, I linked that Day 9 daily of the mental checklist. That is the Day 9 daily to watch in order to get your focus in StarCraft 2 better, and that's pretty much it. And I'll be doing some more casts right now, so I'll see you guys then.